Hello, welcome to the MX Update channel once again. Channels to collect various stories of the motocross industry to tell each other. Before going to watch the clip, leave your friends to like, share, subscribe to cheer each other up. Ken Roczen vs Vince Friese isn't a title duel you would have expected in advance of the final round of a championship. But in a series that only comprised 2 events, the short sample size left the door open for the unexpected. Roczen was set to roll to the world title after coming into the finale of the new FIM World Supercross Championship. In Melbourne, Australia's Marvel Stadium, Roczen, second at the season opener 2 weeks ago, was the default points leader after Eli Tomac, who won the previous race in Cardiff, Wales, didn't make the trip down under. Tomac wasn't eligible to win the title since he isn't part of one of the series-approved teams, as he was only a wild-card entry in Wales, so Roczen was in a great position coming into the race, and then he checked out immediately and won the first of the 3 GP main events in Australia. He took the lead early in race 2, also, while Friese struggled uncharacteristically off the start again. Roczen looked set to dominate until he suddenly got a flat rear tire with 2 laps to go in the second race. Just like that, Roczen was headed to the mechanics area, his race done. TV commentators Chad Reed and Jeff Emig questioned why Roczen wouldn't just stay out and circulate for points with the rear flat, but the metal ramp jump at the finish line isn't friendly to flat tires. 250 rider Derek Drake suffered a huge crash and a wrist injury trying to jump the metal ramp with a flat earlier in the weekend. Luckily for Roczen, a few others had gone down and had problems, so he didn't get last place and still scored a few points despite not completing the last 2 laps. The beneficiary of all of this was Rick Ware Racing's Joey Savatgy, who finished second to Roczen in GP Race 1, then inherited the lead to win GP Race 2. Going into the final gate drop, Friese now held a 1-point lead over his smart top Bullfrog Spas Moto Concepts Honda teammate Brayton, with Roczen 4 points back. The start was super ultra mega critical on a track that didn't allow much passing, plus, the first turn and start had been causing havoc all night with crashes. Friese didn't get a good jump, but he cut inside and tried to get to both Brayton and Roczen on the exit of turn 1. He ended up missing Roczen but smashing his teammate Brayton, and then they both went down. This essentially eliminated both Friese and Brayton from title contention. Of course, with the title on the line and Friese behind both Brayton and Roczen going into turn 1, you could call it simply desperate times calling for desperate measures. Brayton, though, just traces it all back to Friese's checkered past with rough riding incidents. Roczen was able to survive, taking second to Savatgy in the race and overall was enough to wrestle the title away from Friese and Brayton. Savatgy's overall win launched him up to second in the final series standings. Only a bad race in the very first race in Cardiff kept him from title contention. Savatgy, Roczen and Brayton ended up as the top 3 overall in Australia, with Roczen, Savatgy and Friese top 3 in points. We'll have more to unpack from Australia, but Roczen gets to return home packing the 2022 FIM World Supercross Championship. It was a title most expected him to win, but it certainly didn't come easy.